glad you came, and this is Mary Ann, Surviving My 80s, and I've been doing different things with staples, and today I want to cook some Teff, T-E-F-F, for our meal today, and it's known to be the smallest grain that there is. I don't know if you can see the little grains, but it's very, very small. But it's packed full of nutrition, calcium, thiamine, manganese, magnesium, and iron. And the iron is high in iron. And the iron that is it's the kind that's easy for us to digest. So I'm just going to fix a half a cup. I'm not going to put it in the oven. I'm going to cook it on top of the stove, and it's a 3-to-1. So I am going to cook it in beef broth, and actually this is a meat broth, not a bone broth. There is a difference, and there was lots of meat in this, and I did it in my pressure cooker. We ate the meat with something else, and this is the meat broth that's left. So I need 3 of these, and I'm going to put in a little salt because it's a scant 1/4 of a teaspoon. I want to wait until the end because I have other things that I'm putting in, and then I'll taste it and add the salt then. Okay, I'm going to stir it up, and it takes between 15-20 minutes to cook on top of the stove. So I'm going to put that on, and then I want to show you just a little bit else that I'm doing. I think that needs a little more stirring. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring you over and show you on the other side what I'm doing and how I'm going to fix it. Okay. This, I think we can see. Now we can. Okay. In my cast iron lodge pan, I have, actually, well, this is good enough. I have a little bit of sausage, and I want to cook it up first. And this is pasture raised, no soybean, no corn, ground pork. And so I'm cooking some of that, and I want to start out with this first. Then I have some chopped peppers, mushrooms, garlic and onions, and celery, and also some chopped chicken. So that is going to go in it, and I think when I get all done, I may put a little Parmesan cheese on top. But we're going to start with this, and I want to get this done first, and then the vegetables can cook in the whatever fat that the pork releases, and I'll probably have to add more because everything is so lean nowadays. Anyway, I'm going to sort of do this in stages so you don't have to go through the whole time. And when my Teff begins to boil, I'll put the lid on it and cook it that 15-20 minutes. Anyway, I'm going to take, when this sausage, or pork, it's not sausage, when the pork gets done, I'm going to take it out to do the vegetables. So I'm going to leave you right now, and then we'll come back and we'll see the next step. Okay, the vegetables, and I added, are cooked, tender. It's been cooking for almost 15 minutes, the Teff in the pan. And it's getting, let's see, I had a spoon. It's a little bit of a consistency of polenta, but not quite. It's a little juicier, but it's got a little bit longer to cook. And I may finish cooking it in here, I'm not sure. But this has, the mushrooms were shiitake, and I like those the best. And then it has the red pepper for color, the celery, and for some reason, oh, and I put some spices in it. I put more like a sausage spice. That is one of my mixes. And for a little bit of time, it smelled like a Chinese restaurant in here because the chicken and the broth. And I like that smell. I can't smell it like I did earlier, but I think it's going to be good. And I think this probably should cook a little longer, and I might finish cooking it right in the pan. We'll see. It's thickening up nicely, and this is what it looks like. I think it could go a little bit more, and it doesn't need any more salt. I am going to add the teff to it. It's sticking, not really sticking, but it's getting thick, and I think it could have cooked a little bit longer, but it will cook in this pan also. So we're going to put it down in. And they do talk about making polenta out of teff. In fact, it's just about like my cornmeal that I'm using to make polenta. There's also a white teff, and this was the brown teff that's supposed to have the more nutty flavor than the white one. So that is it. I'm going to let that just sit there a while and cook. I hope you can see it. And we're going to have it with a salad. And I also have some Brussels sprouts steaming in my kettle. So that's our dinner for today. It's a half an onion, a good amount of celery, garlic, red pepper, shiitake mushrooms, the cut up chicken, cooked chicken, and some very good ground pork, and then the spices to go with. So that's our dinner. We have vegetables in here. We have our protein. We have a good starch. I think a half a cup of teff is 50 grams. No, I think 1 cup is 50 grams. I'd have to relook that up, and you might be able to look it up. But because it's mixed with everything else, even though if I were to eat a half a cup of this, I wouldn't be eating a half a cup of the teff. So, and then a vegetable, and our, it's a non-starchy vegetable, and then our green fresh salad. So that's what we're having. And so don't overlook teff when you're thinking about staples. It's a good little grain. Okay, so hi there. This is a postscript, sort of. I want to tell you some more about teff. It's a grain that's native to Ethiopia. Actually, it's the seeds off of a grass plant, and it's high in protein, It's gluten-free, a good source of calcium, magnesium, manganese, some B vitamins. It is just a winner and a good grain that we should not ignore. And like I say, it's the very, very finest grain there is. It's just like one of those little fine seeds that you might plant in the garden. But that's teff, and it's an ancient grain. And you might have cook with it certain ways. Let us know. And it makes a good meal, would make a good breakfast. You could put fruit in it and make it like a breakfast cereal. Our daughter cooks it with other grains for breakfast, and so put teff on your shopping list if you haven't had it, and if you don't have it. Okay, come again and buy now.